And it'll be Batley Bulldogs playing down the hill with a pretty comfortable lead, 24 points to 10, and looking to build on that against York City Knights.
I don't quite understand that kick-off from Ian Priest. I watched him before the match when they were warming up, and he had all sorts of kick-off drills, and I never saw that one. I saw them put it in the corner, I saw him put it between the posts. Well,
there's the plan, that's why he did it, Bomber.
That's it, no wonder I'm out of coaching.
It's great defence from the Batley Bulldogs. And Tom Bush heading towards the sidelines, encouraged to go there.
Well, that was a set play out of the top draw. Sean McRae is called the Funky Cole Medina. Kick it short, and on the second tackle, push him in touch.
I'll wait from now on till I see the full set of 6 before I comment.
But it's given Batley head and feed at the scrum. Batley really have got weight of history behind them. York haven't beaten them in the last 10 meetings. They have to go back to May 2000 for their last success against Batley, and this is looking as though that winless sequence is going to continue. Hesketh brought down on the York 10-metre line. Hanforth. Buttery it is. Plays the ball. Chris Lythe. Hanforth shows the ball to Robinson. Still going. Hanforth gets a good pass away to Daly Williams, but Williams, the ball is knocked down and goes dead before Retty can get there. And the York City Knights get away with a goal line dropout.
Well, that was beautiful skill from Paul Hanforth. He showed one drop-off, showed another, and threw it up to himself and put a nice short pass. And Johnny Presley had to get the ball away, get rid of the danger.
Bush with the goal line dropouts, and you saw Chris Thorman on his shoulder. Normally it'd be Thorman taking that kick, but as we've seen with the goal kicks for York, it's Bush who's doing the kicking. Thorman apparently has a minor groin injury, certainly something that prevents him doing the kicking as well. So it's Bush who's got the kicking duties. The restarts, the goal kicks for the York City Knights. It's Batley though in possession. Here is Priest, and Priest puts the brakes on and is hounded down by good defence.
Did well not to give a penalty away then, Priest, almost running into one of his teammates. Good charge.
It's Hesketh again. Prominent since he came on.
James.
Here's Mennell. Mennell all wrapped up. There's 3 in the tackle. One of them all over the back. It was Davy Burns who was all over, and Hesketh has gone without it, and it's snapped up by the Knights, by Lee. Beg your pardon, it's Matt Garside who's picked that ball up.
Matt Garside picking up the scraps. Sean Hesketh catching the ball, turns his back under enormous pressure. I think it's Esders.
So that is a big let-off for the York City Knights, really pinned down on their own try line, and then Batley coughing up possession and allowing York to break through. But then the error from Davy Burns, and as we saw in the first half, under no real pressure, York coming up with the error.
Well, it's not been a good start from either side, really. It has been a little error-strewn, I think would be a fair way to put it. But certainly Batley have had the territorial advantage, and they look the side that is most likely to score points at the start of this second half. But if you don't control the ball, you don't control the game. And at the moment, neither side are doing that.
Walton really hitting that ball at pace, but good defence from York so far. Here's Robinson.
He's run strong, Adam Robinson.
Oh, but he's picked up a knock there, I think. Please, not another injury. Here's Hesketh now. Hesketh doing well to get that ball away to Hanforth. Then a little kick in, finds Brown, and Brown, can he get that down in the corner?
He might need to check the onside.
No.
Ronnie Lawton, sure.
Second try of the night for Alex Brown, 8th of the season. No need, in the view of the ref, Ron Lawton, to go to the video ref for that one. And another lovely little kick, this time getting round the back of the York defence, and Brown was there to touch down, and York again coming up with the error and again paying the price.
Well, Dave Woods and the York side need to control the ball. They can't afford to keep giving Batley play after play after play. They're too smart. Paul Hanforth looks behind, pass to Hesketh, and Paul Mennell puts a very intelligent kick just behind the back of the York defence, and the very impressive Brown gets over for his second try. Here we go again. Look one way, pass the other. I can't get through, so what I'll do, I'll put it on the end of my toe and get Alex Brown another try.
And Hanforth, from just down below our commentary position, right on the touchline. Time to chat to the ball boy about his prospects, which look pretty good. Just fading away at the last. But Batley certainly not fading away. 28 points to 10. They lead here now.
Yeah, they've played this ball a lot where they hit Sean Hesketh up front rather than playing out the back, and he's able to turn, get an offload, and it's a nice little kick, and Alex Brown has anticipated that kick very, very well for a winger. Not easy for a winger because he doesn't know if he's going to have to receive a pass or have to sit back there and wait for that kick, and either way he's got to be onside, of course, but he anticipated that nicely.
Well, it's a good opportunity to go down to the sidelines now and to get the views of Terry O'Connor.
Well, just talking to Carl Harrison just after half-time, and he said he'd come out of the change room and he's absolutely tore into his side, accusing his side of switching off after 25 minutes. He says, stop trying to play like Wigan Warriors and don't disrespect the opposition. Dave Woods, on the other hand, was very worried. He said that we're worrying Batley. In the last 8 minutes of that game, they give 4 penalties away. Stop shooting out the line, trying to solve the problems yourselves. What I want of you is more push around the ball and play the next 40 minutes like we finished the last 8 minutes of that first half.
Thanks, Terry. Brown this time not making any progress, tackled by Thorman. So Hanforth with the kick. He was inside his own 40, but that's got too much on it. It's going to skip all the way downhill.
We're going to be talking about Paul Hanforth's kicking game a lot. Talked about it at half-time. He'll know every inch. There's a great shot from Batley. Jason Walton picks up the scraps.
Batley could inflict more punishment on the York City Knights now. Here's Retty on a hat-trick. Both wingers actually looking to clean up here tonight. Here's Hesketh, and Hesketh, well, he's just caused all sorts of problems for the York defence, and he's earned that one. The Irish international, a former York City Knight himself, Sean Hesketh, and there was no stopping him then. Coming down the hill, really motoring. York just didn't have an answer, and he gets his 3rd try of the season.
Well, once again, York handing possession over. It's a superb shot from Chris Buttery. And just watch this. Only has one instinct in mind, and that's to get over the line. He changes it from 2 hands to 1 hand, from left to right. A big player with a lot of impact coming on off the bench. And Sean Paddy Hesketh, I think, the first. I think he'll get a few more.
Hanforth has landed that one. And York really are suffering already in this second half. Tries from Brown and now Hesketh. This last one gold by Hanforth. 34 points to 10 in favour of the Batley Bulldogs. They lost their last home game to the Sheffield Eagles, and that ended a run of 5 consecutive home wins. But they're looking to get back on track here tonight, and they're well on course to do that. Well on course to stay 3rd in the table and to continue this impressive start to the season. Their best for many a while.
Discipline, lads, when we get there, tackles down.
And worrying for York at the other end of the table, and relegation will be their major concern. Toulouse and Halifax just a point behind them. And both those sides capable of picking up more wins. Well, Toulouse have already ended their drought. That win against Hunslet last time out, getting them back on track, and surely Halifax are going to get back to winning ways. Here goes Daly Williams. Williams managing to stay on his feet and stay in the field of play. No, he doesn't. And he's picked up a shoulder injury as well.
Nice break from Batley.
He's in trouble, in fact, Daly Williams. He's immediately gone to the physio, and I think he knows that there's something up there.
Well, watch when he falls, but when he falls bang down, he's probably popped his shoulder, I would say, there. By the way that he's gone down, that's highly likely that it's a shoulder problem, possibly an elbow, but more likely the shoulder is popped.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And
AC joint, that one.
Yeah, that would be on the. You'll be on the sidelines rehabbing for a while if it's what I suspect it is. Well, that puts a bit of a dampener on Batley's performance, doesn't it? When you consider they're winning the game fairly comfortably, but you lose a player. But I guess that's one of the things about our game is that. The collisions and the angles that you tackled at, the speed it's played at, you're going to expect people to be injured, and Daly Williams, unfortunately, I would suspect is certainly out of the game for tonight, and probably for a few weeks. They take a bit of getting over, Barry, don't they?
Yeah, shoulders, knees, ankles, they're the occupational hazards for rugby players.
York trying to run this ball, giving it a bit of width, and the kick ahead, and it's Priest who'll field it, although that one's bobbled away from him, and it's a good chase from the York City Knights, and it's a good return from Ian Priest. And looking to counter quickly, a quick play the ball as well. York all over the shop at the moment. Alex Brown. And Brown gets the ball away, but it ricochets, and it's going to be a head and feed to York City Knights, I think. After all that, says Ron Lawton, or will he give the penalty to York? It is a penalty to York. Daly Williams right alongside Terry on the sidelines. What's the news, Terry?
Well, poor old Daly Williams, he's been with the physio and the doctor trying to put his shoulder back into joint. There was a lot of brawl-love going on, a bit of hugging, trying to keep his composure there. He looks in a lot of pain, does the lad. I don't think he'll be returning in this game.
Terry O'Connor on the sidelines with the immediate diagnosis. It's good to have such knowledgeable medical people on our team, Barry.
Bro-love. I think he means bromance.
I don't know what he means.
I know what he means. Never mind, Tez.
It's Cronton slang for you. Meanwhile, it's York City Knights in possession. Matt Garside, student international. He'll be off to Australia in a couple of months' time with Great Britain and Ireland students, but he's got a job to do here now. Presley, good ball away. York, defiance from them. His Ford, scorer of a first-half try for the York City Knights. But Batley haven't had a lot of this to do so far in the second half. Presley, change of direction from him. Gets the ball wide to Dave Sutton. Sutton going for it in the corner. The ball's kicked over their own line, I think, by Batley, and Priest does well to get out of trouble. Is he held? Yes, says the referee. Play the ball. Byron Smith.
Ronnie Lawrence took a tumble. An extraordinary passage of play. And Ronnie Lawton gets a right crack.
Hanforth, meanwhile, spreads the ball wide to Morn, and Morn trying to get away, but hounded down by the York defence. It was good defence from Matt Garside. Now here's Chris Buttery. Chris Lythe.
That's what Carl Harrison was talking about. You see the offloads, and offloads are fantastic. I love to see them, but you cannot disrespect your opposition in rugby league. If you throw offloads that aren't on and are very risky and you turn possession over, look at Paul Hanforth. Calm down. That's probably what Carl Harrison's saying as well. Now look at this passage of play. The ball goes back on the inside. York are playing to the whistle, and Ian Priest tries to get out of his danger zone and plays that ball. A little bit frantic down in the top corner.
I think what we've seen is the good and bad of York City Knights, aren't we? I think they attack really well. I think they've got plenty of attack, and they've got plenty of play in them. They've got some players there that can create, and they've got some players that can finish. What they can't do, though, is stop the other team doing it. and the other team do it very well. Batley do it very well, and they make good meters. They can offload. They've got a good kicking game, and that's where this game has been won tonight by Batley. I'm sure there's still plenty of time left on the clock with 25 minutes, but at 34-10 it would be pretty catastrophic, I think, if York would have come back and win this match.
Well, Batley have done a good job at running at the right people. There's another reckless offload.
Ball went backwards, says the referee.
Sorry, Bill, just to make my point, Chris Thorman's on 24 tackles and Thackeray is on 21, so certainly running at the right people, making those work so they're less effective when it's their time to touch the ball.
York looking to bounce back after a performance that was described as pathetic by their coach Dave Woods. That was against Barrow Raiders, and we'll see the Barrow Raiders in action next Thursday on Sky Sports 4, 7:30 at Widnes Vikings. Barrow under Nigel Wright just beginning to put a bit of form together. That was their third win in a row, the victory over York. And inside the top six now, the Raiders. So their season coming together after a very shaky start.
And Barrow reportedly trying to get Semi Tajalala to come and play for them. Been playing rugby union for Leeds Carnegie. You certainly add to them on the flanks.
Batley Bulldogs in possession. With Paul Mennell. Here's Hanforth now. Preece, and Preece's ball to Walton goes to ground. Referee says play on.
Well, that was a murder ball from Preece. Now Jason Walton is a good runner.
Was it not a knock-on?
No, I don't think it was.
Obviously not. That's a great ball, lovely ball, and it's a hat-trick for Alex Brown. It was the pass from Alex Bretherton, though, that set it up. And Ronnie Lawton has said, let's have a look at the knock-on.
Yeah, the ground is okay. You've got a knock-on back there.
Knock-on is what Ron Lawton is looking for. It was that pass that Walton couldn't take.
Well, Jason Walton's one of the best runners in this division. He runs hard and strong, doesn't deviate and keeps his eyes open. There's not many players that can catch the ball very, very close to the line.
You all right, Ian?
And it's
well, it was
Alex Brown who gets that. Let's
knock on after they play the ball.
Well, there's the play the ball. Chris Lythe, does he fumble it off Anthony Thackeray's foot? It's not the Jason Walton knock-on. I don't think they can go back that far.
You're
Bill.
right, they can't.
I don't think... What do you think, Sean?
I think this is okay. I think it's hit the foot there. Oh, I think he scoops that up. I think he scoops that ball up. But then again, my eyes are going, I'm getting old, Bill, so I don't know. But
no,
I'll go with,
he's looking at the grounding.
It
looks good for Alex Brown and his hat-trick. It is. So Brown wins the race to 3. But York might be feeling a little hard done by because of a potential knock-on earlier on in that passage of play, but couldn't go back to that.
Very impressive, Alex Brown, tonight. You talked about that Northern Rail final where he scored 2 decisive tries. That's a wonderful offload. And Danny Morn just draws the last defender. Watch this for an offload. Outstanding, around the player. Danny Morn still has a bit of work to do. Still needs to make it impossible for Tom Bush to get to Alex Brown, but he's a very impressive player. 3 for tonight.
And Hanforth is right out on the sidelines again with this. He's not been given too many gimmies, but he doesn't need them with goal kicking like that. 40 points to 10. Brown's try converted again by the boot of Paul Hanforth. And once again, Batley have hit 40 against the York City Knights, as they have done on the previous 3 occasions they've played York here at Mount Pleasant.
Barry, the player you mentioned was Alex Bretherton that put the ball around the corner with the offload. I think he's been extremely good tonight, very impressive. He runs good angles, he runs hard. He seems to have excellent control with the football in his hands, and pretty smart player on the edges there, and he's defended well tonight. I think he's had a really complete game so far, and that was just reward. I know he didn't score the try, but you can put him down as the try assist.
And I think as well, going back to the point about running at the right place, the reason he's been so effective, Dane Manning with a good offload, the reason he's been so effective is he's run at the right place. He's been given a good game plan and he's had the intelligence to carry it out.
Wayne Retty, who'll be looking to join Alex Brown in the hat-trick group. He's got 2 so far to his name, Retty. And there's every chance of Batley running in more points here. It's a York side who are fading now. Hanforth and York. Well, it's been a tough campaign for them so far. Just the 2 wins and 1 draw. There's a bang there. Esders has gone down as a result of that collision with Paul Mennell. Mennell's back on his feet. Esders hobbling back towards his own defence, his own attack at the moment.
Esders trying to put pressure on Mennell as he was kicking that ball. Not sure who's come off worse. They're both walking away limping. Kick pressure's a difficult skill to master. Do you try to charge the ball down, leaving yourself at risk of giving your opposition 6 plays, or do you try and attack the kicker, or do you just spook him enough where he's not got enough time and space to make the choice?
Bush has joined the attack, but again York have put the ball down, and it's back to 1, says the referee, except there was a succession of knock-ons there, so we'll go back to the original one, which was by York. It wasn't, it was by Batley.
Well, obviously he's ruled that, have a look here, the ball has come out backwards. That's a knock back, and then he's ruled that the Batley player who came through has knocked the ball on.
No, you're not just getting in for a second.
No, it's the strip from Bretherton, I think.
He could be, yes.
Alex Bretherton strips it and may well have knocked it on in the process.
So there was 2 knock-ons anyway, so he's got it right.
So the Batley Bulldogs are going to maintain this great season they're having. No doubt about that now. They made their best start to a campaign since the days of Gary Thornton back in 2004, losing just 1 of their opening 6 games before they hit a bit of a dip. But this is going to get them back to winning ways. Thackeray. Here's Esders, and Esders seems to have shaken off that knock. Back at the York club, Ryan Esders, after a spell in Super League with Harlequins. Thorman. Short ball from Thorman finds Dwayne Strather, and nowhere for him to go. Thorman shaped to kick, but didn't get it away. Instead, they're running it. Well, it came off for them earlier on, but that ball's been knocked forward.
Turn it over on the 10.
And it'll be the turnover.
Yeah, unusually, Thorman puts himself at first receiver. We've already had the message that Chris Thorman is struggling with a groin injury.
Wait for his foot, lad.
And he has to pass that. And sadly, the skills don't match the ambition of that play.
Having said that, it's probably not a bad play to utilise. You're right, the execution was poor. The idea was very, very good. Look at York here now as
That's going to be a penalty,
that, Sean. Yes, they are. The players attached there, they're dragging the player over the line.
I think that's difficult, me, while you're in that process, to A, hear the referee, and B, have the discipline to stop. But it is a penalty, no doubt about that. We heard the call from up here and nearly caught the ball.
There's more Rugby League coming up, more Rugby League chat coming up. Super League Superman, another edition of Brian Carney's show. At 9:30, he'll be talking to Danny Orr. That's on HD4. And that follows what's left of Batley Bulldogs against the York City Knights. And Batley in complete command of this one now. Haynes it was playing the ball for the York City Knights, the fullback off the bench, James Haynes. Here's Alex Benson.
5, move!
That's the 5th tackle, and York on the 20-metre line. Well, at least they've stemmed the flow of points at the other end of the field. Can they inflict any damage on the Batley side? Well, they went for the power play, and Dave Woods beside himself on the touchline, and really at a loss to know what was going on then.
Well, Byron Smith inflicted some damage back on the inside, just doing his job, making sure he shuts that gate. Anthony Thackeray put the ball inside, and Byron just slammed that door shut. It was quite a conservative set of 6 for York, using the same play that Sean talked about, faking the kick and putting it through the hands, trying to find the space and gaps out wide.
Here's Hanforth.
4, move! 4, go!
Walson plays the ball. Here's Lindsay, now over the halfway line.
5,
That's the 5th.
Hold there, go, you're offside 1.
Hanforth will hoist the kick, put a bit of pressure on Tom Bush, but Bush with plenty of time to gather the ball. And let's hear from Terry on the sidelines again.
Well, it's getting a tough night for York. They've just lost Dave Sutton. He's limbed off to the park, and it looks like he won't be taking any further part in this game. But they're not going to make excuses in this game, York. But there's a number of players that have been physically sick leading up to this game, and a number, especially Chris Foreman, they seem to be really struggling. And if they don't keep hold of the ball, you've got to say Batley will score another couple of tries.
3, move!
Strother
3, hold!
just inside his own half as he plays that ball. Here's Thackeray now. Here is Thorman with that groin problem that's restricting his movements.
Move! 4, hold there!
Bush
4,
is
go.
tackled. Alex Benson now. Byron Smith there to make the tackle. So too is Chris Buttery. And Thorman on the last stabs the kick in. Preece across to field it. Really versatile kicker. Player Ian Preece is a good kicker of the ball. He can play in a variety of positions. Full back is where you normally find him, but he's been operating at standoff while Batley have had their various injury problems in that department.
Dominant 3!
Good shot.
I just make the point again, what we just saw with York City Knight with the ball has not been their problem tonight. They've actually completed many sets, but they've completed them sort of around about the middle part of the field. They just haven't built enough pressure on Batley's defence, and then they haven't coped too well when things like this have come up. There's an attempt at 40-20 from Paul Hanforth.
Alex Brown chasing hard.
Brown putting Tom Bush under pressure, but Bush knocked that on, says the referee. And no sympathy for the York City Knights full-back. Did well to get there in the race with Brown, and then just fumble the ball as he went to gather it.
Well, that's Alex Brown's credit and Alex Brown's play. He really chases hard. And you talked about York, Sean, and how difficult it's been for them to get up the right end of the pitch and put Batley under pressure. But the back three, Ian Preece, Alex Brown and Wayne Retty, as well as getting a few tries to the name, they worked hard.
Brown, 3 to his name already.
That's 1.
Stop there. But is this just delaying the inevitable? Here's Hesketh. He's already a try scorer tonight. Held, says the referee, as the Irish international is stopped just a couple of metres short. Mennell to the Welsh international, Byron Smith. And York looking weary as they head back towards their own try line to mount the defensive rear guard again. 4 tackles gone. Be some effort if they can survive this. Can they do that? Buttery trying his luck. He's held, says the referee.
Just check that. Seen the ball come out.
He's not. He's saying nothing of the sort. He's saying, did Chris Buttery get that ball down?
The ball down on the floor.
I think that's taken everybody by surprise.
Has he tried to put that down and score the try?
Promote the ball.
Well, if he
I think he has, you know.
He has.
I think Chris Buttery has thought to himself, I'm not tackled, I've a right to put it down. I'll just have a crack.
Well, he's lost the ball, hasn't he? He's lost the ball
I think
there.
it's a knock-on, scrum down to York.
But wasn't there enough time to say held? Should the referee be calling
No
held?
try, knock on, 20 restart.
It's a 20-metre restart after all that.
To me, there's no motion with the player. The ball was locked up temporarily. There's enough time there for the referee to say held, play the ball.
As it is, it's York who've got possession back. Here's Esders and swatting away the defenders. A good work there from Ryan Esders.
Did well to catch that ball then, very low. Just got his fingertips to it.
Here's Thorman, and you wonder whether Thorman's injury has, well, it's obviously restricted York as far as their kicking game goes, because they've really had very little direction in that department.
And you could see when he went into that challenge then, the grimace in his face. He's obviously in some discomfort.
Haynes puts the kick in. It's not a bad one, in fact. Brown's going to have to retrieve that, and he won't get out of... He will. He did well there, because there were 3 York players closing him down, but Alex Brown had the beating of them all, and then York conceded the penalty. The markers weren't square, says referee Lawton.
Do you know, I do admire that in wingers. When the ball goes behind the line, Alex Brown has the right to just tip it up and get it off the island, but he bravely picks it up and gets back up. Watch this for determination.
Hang on a minute, hang on. This is you crediting a winger.
I'm crediting a winger when he rolls his sleeves up and does his job properly. Great work from Alex Brown. Some of them are not muscular touch judges, but some of them are, Bill.
Well, a real accolade for Alex Brown there, that's all I can say.
Surrender! 2, move! Go.
Here is Hanforth, now Bretherton, scorer of the first try of the night. Alex Bretherton, way back,
3, go.
Early in the game, a game which Batley have by and large dominated, apart from one spell really where York got back into it, but Priest is going to add to their misery with a wonderful individual try there. Really bamboozled the York City Knights defence, who are in disarray now. And Ian Priest joins the list of try scorers for his first of the night, his 3rd of the season. And Wayne Retty saying, I was there, I'm on a hat-trick.
Well, that Batley play comes from Alex Brown and his ability to get back onto the island. And from that penalty, there we go, let's have a look at it. Should I surrender? Not on your Nelly. I'm getting over, I'm getting back on the field of play, helping my teammates. Great stuff. And from that resulted a penalty. Now watch this pass from Paul Hanforth. Phenomenal. 20 metres right on the button, and with bodies in motion, Ian Priest with a little short and go, and a point to the camera. Beautiful, wonderful stuff. Sees the corner, sees the camera. He's having a good night tonight.
Former Dewsbury player Ian Priest had 5 seasons with the Rams, now has crossed the valley in Hanforth. Well, plenty for the Batley Bulldogs to smile about. He's missed with that one. Rueful grin from Paul Hanforth, but still the Bulldogs captain just giving out the instructions to his side. Game isn't over yet. Don't switch off is the message from Paul Hanforth.
Once again, long passes. Hanforth, long ball to Ian Priest. He could have tipped on there to Wayne Reddy. John Presley coming in, couldn't quite make the tackle, and Ian Priest ended up making the right decision and deserved to score that try. But again, it came from a long ball from 9 to 7, long cutout ball again, and the York City Knights just were unable to cope with that sort of long pass. They weren't able to come up and out and push out, put pressure on and help their outside defenders.
I wonder what was said to Paul Hanforth there to make him smile like that.
Well, going into this game, York had the worst defence in the championship. Before tonight, they'd conceded 54 tries and 294 points in their 8 championship games. And that is certainly an area that Batley Bulldogs have exploited tonight. And if they hadn't switched off for that spell in the first half and allowed York that brief period of success, then it could be even grimmer for the York City Knights. As it is, 44-10 is pretty grim. And they're off again with Brown once more, trying to run over the top of Bush.
Oh, he's still going. Look at the power on him.
Still going. And eventually the cavalry arrives in the shape of Dwayne Strother, and they manage to stop him. But they're right on the try line now. The pass from the play the ball, not the best. It's picked up by Hesketh. They've lost ground.
4, leave it. 4, 5, move! Get James! 5.
So Hesketh plays the ball about 12 metres out now. Lythe. Hanforth stabs the kick in. Robinson will chase this. Oh, and has he got the try, or has he run out of room?
You want me to check the onside?
Referee Lawton says check the onside.
Just check for onside, offside.
Seems happy with the grounding. Robinson, well, as I said, he's had a pretty miserable season in terms of injuries, ruining any run of games, but he's back in the side tonight and hoping that he's got on the scoreboard as well.
Well, Adam Robinson, does he hold his line? Oh, he might just be offside. It's difficult to tell from that angle. Oh, he's checking the grounding. Well, he does deserve this, Adam Robinson. He's run hard and strong all night. Does he get the points?
Has he got the 10th Batley try of the night? He has. His second of the season. And a big smile on the face of the personal fitness instructor from Wakefield. That's his business.
Here's Alex Brown again. You have to say, just if he puts that ball in the other hand, he can hand off. If he carries it in his left, he can hand off with his right. But look at the power. And watch this. Paul Hanforth, ever the intelligent thinker, puts it behind the defensive line of York. And he deserves that, the big fella.
Hanforth will fancy his chances with this one. Nobody to put him off or give him any grief over his shoulder. And he's kicked that one. They've hit the half century, 50 points to 10 now. Batley Bulldogs lead, and the coach is satisfied with that. Back to winning ways.
Well, it's a terrific kick. Paul Hanforth's just controlled the game all night, and there was plenty of space there for him to kick into, but isn't it great when you see a big fella coming through, charging, knows the play's on, runs with plenty of pace, plenty of enthusiasm, and gets to touch the ball down and score the try, which would eventually become the half century with the conversion. 50 points to 10, and we might have another try to win us, Bill, I think, before this game's completed.
5 tries in each half so far for the Batley Bulldogs.
Stay onside.
Yeah, and they've looked fresh, haven't they? I mean, their last game was some 10 or 11 days ago, wasn't it? I think it was last Sunday week against Huddersfield. So they've had a lot of time to freshen up, both physically and mentally, from what would have been a very, very tough game and a disappointing game for them, because a lot of people have indicated that they were a bit unlucky in that match. Whereas York City Knights, I believe, played last Saturday night against Barrow, and not as much time to recover, and so you probably expect Batley to finish very well in this game.
Yeah, they might not have finished with the York City Knights. I think Paul Mennell is finished for the evening. Terry's got news of an injury to him, Paul. Terry.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. He's come off with a hip injury. He won't be taking any further part, and that's probably the disappointing thing for Carl Harrison in what has been a very clinical performance in the second half.
That's a good steal from Thackeray.
That's a one-on-one.
Picked Sean Hesketh's pocket there.
Go.
Anthony Thackeray gets the ball from the big fella.
2.
And York,
Move.
with a couple of minutes,
2. Go.
well, over 4 minutes left on the clock, they get some points before they get back in the changing rooms.
Well, when they've managed to shift the ball, retained possession, not coughed up possession, then they've posed a threat.
I beg your pardon, Bill.
Exactly. They've conceded possession there. I think it was 2 in the tackle. Well, the referee initially said 1-on-1, but somebody had a word in his ear, I think, and York get the penalty.
There's 2 former academy players from Leeds, Dame Manning, Tom Bush played together. York with another set of 6. Can they get the last points or some more points?
Here is Ryan Esders. That's another penalty against Batley. Last 5 minutes of the game, and York get back-to-back penalties. Could have done with that a little bit earlier in the proceedings, I think. Rueful smile from Dave Woods there. Here's Benson. the York captain, plays the ball. And they are over. The try from Jack Stearman. And late defiance from the York City Knights. Jack Stearman, who showed up well when he was on the field in the first half, got through plenty of work and has powered his way over there for a York City Knights try.
Yeah, just hard and strong, direct near the line. One or two Batley defenders not doing the job. We talked about nomination, renomination, Chris Life, Adam Robinson. There's more than enough numbers there to cope with that hard and strong run.
It was three games in a row now that Jack Stearman has scored.
You know, all the
Mark Barlow has converted that try.
Sorry, Bill, all the tries that York City Knights have scored tonight, I think that'll be the one that'll disappoint Carl Harrison the most. I always used to like it as a coach when you were leading by a big scoreline. If the other team got a few sets on your line at the end of the game, it showed a lot of character, a lot of enthusiasm, and it really could test you from a conditioning point of view. And I think that'll really disappoint Carl, because I think he would have expected his side to sort of lift and be a bit quicker and a little bit more aggressive off the line.
And goal line D is something that you practice constantly. To talk about who you've got, who's responsible for the ball. The ball is always the threat. And it's a soft try to let in from less than 5 metres.
So York are going to remain 9th in the table, and they will have Halifax and Toulouse breathing down their necks, and Hanforth. A real live wire performance from the Batley Bulldogs captain, involved there, regaining possession for his side, and Batley might look to finish with a flourish here inside the last minute. Can they come up with more points? Once again, they've hit 40+ against York. They like the taste of York.
Well, Carl Harrison will be thrilled to bits with the performance of Paul Hanforth.
Walton chasing that kick from Hanforth, but just too strong.
He's such an intelligent player, Paul Hanforth. Constantly analysing the game, risk assessing. What's the easiest way to break down this defence? Johnny Presley, and not for the first time tonight, has to bat that ball behind. He's had an outstanding game with the ball, and as we saw a couple of moments ago, stealing it away from the opposition.
So, clock counting down, and Batley back to winning ways. 3 defeats in a row for them. Sheffield and Lee in the Championship have beaten them, and the Giants in the Challenge Cup last time out. But they've put that behind them, have Carl Harrison's men. Quiet satisfaction is probably the best description of the look on the face of the Batley Bulldogs coach. And once again, we've seen them win on Sky. We saw them win at Dewsbury, their last appearance at Sky. The coaches complement each other, but look of thunder on the face of the former Thunder coach, Dave Woods. His York side have really been given a good beating here tonight by the Batley Bulldogs, and that man Alex Brown has run in 3 tries. 10 in all for the Batley Bulldogs here tonight. Brown with 3 of them, Retty with another 2. And Batley, well, there's no sign of the wheels coming off Carl Harrison's bandwagon. 3rd in the table they remain. Really is an outstanding performance. They've only got a small squad, only Flanagan and Campbell not figuring tonight. Campbell not being able to get in the side, and Flanagan out with an injury. But even so, it's an impressive performance. Difficult to pick a man of the match, but Paul Hanforth gets the nod, and he's now with Terry.
Well, Paul, congratulations on a man-of-the-match performance. 24 points to 10 at half-time. You must have been confident knowing that you were coming downhill in the second half.
Yeah, definitely confident, but I think we're a bit disappointed with how we finished the second half. As first 20 minutes were exactly how we've trained and game plan-wise, and a few players just went off that and did their own thing, but second half we got back to it. We starved York of possession, and I think we pretty good result in the end.
Well, was Carl a bit disappointed with the last 8 minutes of the first half? You conceded 4 penalties.
Yeah, he definitely was. Like I said, we went away from what we'd been set to do. And when you're playing against the top sides, no disrespect to York, you can't afford to do that because you get points put on you and, by a bigger margin.
Well, we can't just give you all the credit. Your forwards done a fantastic job and did lay a platform for you to work on. Your kicking game was sensational. The go forward was very good by your forwards. How easy is it playing behind that pack?
When that pack's like that, it is really good. But then I think we've got as two outside backs, like Wayne Retty and Brownie, who I thought were amazing today. It's like having 8 forwards on field at times.
And what about your form this year? Where will it take you for the rest of the year? Are you confident that you can get to the grand final and win some silverware like you did last year in the Northern Rail?
Definitely, yeah. We won that last year, and it's about kicking on now. We're disappointed to not have a chance of retaining that trophy, but grand finals is aim, and that's what we're going for.
Paul, thanks for your time. Don't drink it all at once. Carl, you must be very, very proud of your players. 11 days ago, you took Huddersfield all the way 15 minutes away from turning what is a very good Super League side apart. You come here today and you do the business yet again.
Well, we had a good team, you know. It wasn't the most fluent performance tonight, but we'd have took 50 points before the start of the game, and, you know, I think we won at a counter tonight, never got out of second gear, but, you know, we've got a good team here.
What did you actually say to him at half-time? Paul actually just said then about the 8 minutes leading up to half-time. You weren't very happy with it?
I just thought we got a little bit loose, went away from what we've been working at. Certain players thought they were probably better than what they are, thought they could do it by themselves rather than the team ethic that we've got in the place. You know, it is a team game, not an individual game, and that we put it back together at half-time, and second half was a much improved performance.
Third in the table, and only with a small squad, only 21 players. What's the magic formula, Carl?
Oh, we're sprinkled in pixie dust. No, we've got a close-knit bunch of boys, all local kids, and work them extremely hard, very, very fit. You know, we've got a small medical staff, and they keep them buzzed up and what have you. So, you know, just hard work really, and a little bit of luck with injuries.
Carl, thank you very much for the interview, and good luck, and thank you very much for the rest of the season. Cheers, Carl.
Carl Harrison, and the man who succeeded him in the Great Britain prop position, Terry O'Connor, talking on the sidelines there. And Carl Harrison's Batley side have beaten York 50 points to 16. The highlight, Alex Brown's hat-trick, and so Batley back to winning ways. Batley remaining in third place in the table, a point though behind Featherstone. Now really is a terrific season so far for the Bulldogs, and unstoppable, Sean, in the second half really.